Let's talk today about my private labeling journey and how poorly it went for me. For those of you considering private labeling on Amazon, I want to take you through the journey that I just went through on the past 5 months of both the highs and the lows. Now, I will tell you this was the very first product that I tried to bring private labeled to the Amazon market space, and I did a lot of research to begin with. So there are some areas that I think I did well on, but there were a lot of things that did not go right. So in this video, I want to explain all of that to you guys, and then you'll see how I ended up losing about $1,000 on this product. But first, if you're new here, I'm Cassandra and I'm a full-time Amazon seller. Right here on this channel, I come every single week to share with you guys what I'm learning and doing in my Amazon business so that you too can be a good Amazon seller. So if you like those types of videos, please consider subscribing to my channel. All right, if you've been here with me for a while, then you know that I started out in arbitrage. It really is the easiest way to just come into Amazon and to learn how it goes. So once I felt really comfortable with the process of how to get products and send them to the warehouse, all of those different things, then I started thinking about potential products to bring private label. Private label is completely different from doing arbitrage. You're taking products that don't exist yet and you're bringing them to the marketplace. So there's a lot of work that goes into this because you're starting from nothing. You have to manufacture the products, brand them, package them, think of your listing, your photographs, all of those details, and then of course, PPC on top of that. Just a quick side note, those of you who have been following my Amazon journey, you know that I post a video every month, and this is basically my Amazon journey update for the month. Not really much has been going on. I've been sticking with those same 2 wholesale suppliers and working with those products. But the biggest thing that did happen was something that I'm going to get to at the end of the video, which made me realize that this private labeled product is now a bust. Okay, so back to the journey. I knew that first I needed to get a trademark because in order to get brand registry on Amazon, you have to have a registered trademark. So that was step number 1 and something that I tried to do the right way. Applying for a trademark is kind of complex. There's a lot of different codes and you have to make sure that you get the exact one that matches the trademark that you're trying to get into, or else it's not going to pass. It also can't sound, or if you're going with a logo, it also can't look like anything else that already exists, because if there's any brand confusion, then you're also going to get denied. And if your trademark is denied, you don't get your money back. You have to try again. So I knew that I needed help with this. Now, before you even register your trademark, you have to set up your LLC, because on the trademark application, you have to show that the LLC is the owner of the trademark. And I wanted to make sure this was done the right way. So to set up my LLC, I went through LegalZoom. And it was such an easy process that I decided, hey, why not hire their services to also register my trademark? And that was my first mistake on my private label journey. I'm not going to rant and bore you guys too long with this. I've talked about it a few times on this channel, but basically they did not ever register my trademark. This was 5 months ago I started, and I'm still in the process of trying to get a refund. So long story short, I would not recommend you go through LegalZoom and do your registered trademark through them. On to the next step in the private label journey, and that is choosing your niche and choosing your products. I actually spent several months on this, just researching different products and then looking for different manufacturers. And I don't know why, but I could not get it out of my mind that I wanted my first product to be some type of spa gift basket. And I knew it was a super competitive niche, and that was my second mistake. Because even though I knew what I was getting into and how competitive it was going to be, I just could not get out of the funk that I wanted that to be my first product. I start my research on Amazon by typing in the main keywords into the search bar. Now I can see that there are over 20,000 results for the keywords spa gift set. That right there should have told me stay away. Next, what I did to look deeper at the data was come down here and hit this yellow AMZ Scout button. For these keywords, this tells me the average monthly sales, sales rank, average price, and average number of reviews. The rank is really strong. This was a good sale point considering what I was getting the product for. There was still profit to be made. Number of reviews, that's a little bit high. That's a lot to compete with, but it's not too bad. Then I like to come here and hit estimated sales and make sure that it's filtered from highest to lowest. I want to see which ones are making the most sales and how can I compete against them. These bath bombs here are selling really well. Their estimated revenue is over $1 million a month, but they have 41,000 reviews. So bath bombs would be something that are going to be super easy to manufacture, and you could definitely differentiate these, but I didn't go with just bath bombs. However, there was a bath bomb in my spot spa gift. So then I look through and see which one is the closest to mine. And the first one would be this one here. $476,000 in revenue, over 5,000 reviews. And then if I keep going down, it's the same thing. This one is kind of close to the one I came up with, but there are just so many of them. And so many of them are already dominating. They already have a ton of sales, a ton of reviews, a ton of ratings, good 4 and 5 star ratings. So this should have deterred me away and told me you're trying to get into a bigger ball game than you're ready to play. But for some reason, I was just adamant that I had to have a spa gift basket. The next step in private labeling is to find your manufacturer. So because I chose this spa gift basket, now I'm trying to find who can make this for me and what elements do I want inside of it. First place I went to find my manufacturer is probably where everybody goes, and that is Alibaba.com. I typed in spa gift set and I just was not in love with what I was seeing. Something like this right here, I knew that that was going to be really cheap quality. Those are gift baskets that you just kind of find anywhere, and I didn't want something like that. So I did talk to and message a lot of different manufacturers, and a lot of them are willing to let you kind of choose what's going into the box, but I really worried about the quality of all of the different pieces, and I knew I would need samples. So that right there, getting the samples, that would be extra time and extra expense, and I just really wanted to stay closer to home. Ideally, what I was searching for is I wanted one of my selling points to be the fact that it was made in the USA. So I didn't want to be like every other private label who was doing just gift sets and ordering from overseas from Alibaba. So where I ended up finding my manufacturer was right here on Fair.com. These products are going to be wholesale prices, and they're going to be private brands. So most of these are products that are not known. They are not on Amazon yet. What's really cool about this site is when I scroll down to see the details, I can see that it is made in the USA. And the best part is right here, seeing that it has a tag that it is not on Amazon. This is not the manufacturer that I went with. This is just to show you an example. And what's really cool about this is most of these brands are in the United States. So the shipping time is going to be generally cheaper and a lot faster. This shop right here, Denver, Colorado. And because these are privately owned people, most of them are from Etsy. They're doing things handmade. The communication is really great and really fast. Sometimes on Alibaba, you could be talking to a manufacturer and it could take a long time to get a response because they're in such a completely different time zone. So what I was finding was I would send a message to a manufacturer on Alibaba and I wouldn't hear anything back for a good 10 to 12 hours. So having to ask a question every single time and waiting 10 to 12 hours for a response, that is really pushing the delay button on things. Knowing what I know now, I am not going to go with any more spa gift baskets or anything for that matter that goes on your skin. But if you're interested in those types of products, tons of them on Fair.com. And it's not just beauty stuff on here. There are a ton of products on here. So if you're like me and you just really don't want to go overseas and do Alibaba.com, then check out Fair.com. You might find some stuff that you like. So at this point in time, I still had faith that I would be able to register my trademark and that LegalZoom was going to pull through. So what I had to do was come up with my branded packaging. And I came up with the design, I was ready to order them, and I kept asking my attorney, hey, what do you think? Are we close to submitting the trademark? Do we think it's going to be approved? Because I've ordered my products and they're not going to take long to get here. I want to have my packaging ready to go. Well, my attorney literally went AWOL. She just up and took off. She never replied back to any of my messages in the portal. So I thought, okay, let me just go ahead and order this packaging and see what happens. Fast forward about 3 weeks, my products have arrived, my packaging has arrived, and still crickets from my attorney. I had a lot of money tied into these products, so I knew I just wanted to get them up and listed. I was really anxious to do so, especially because this was my first private labeled product, and I just wanted to get it on the marketplace. So because I didn't have a trademark, I was not able to get brand registry, which was actually super disappointing because you want an established brand when you're bringing new products to the marketplace. So instead, I had to take this gift basket, list it as a generic bundle, and then I put it under the original manufacturer's name. Because it's not a product that I came up with myself. It is a brand, but it is a private brand. It did not exist yet on Amazon. And that's what I would consider to be the third error in this process, not having that trademark and not having a brand presence to go along with this product. So I said, let's just roll with it. I created my listing. I spent a lot of time looking up different keywords, putting those into the title, into the description, into the bullet points, making sure it was like an advertisement that was solving people's problems. I even hired out for my photographs because I knew that was a really important part to my listing, was having really nice photographs. So all of that, I feel like I did a relatively good job on, being my first time. So I bagged up 20 units and I sent them off to the FBA warehouse. Now, I knew these weren't going to be just flying off the shelf. This wasn't a brand that people are familiar with. There's not going to be any reviews on the product. I wasn't sure how it was going to go over. So I didn't want to send all of the units off that I had ordered. My Amazon warehouse is in Pennsylvania, so fast forward about 3 to 4 weeks because that's how long it takes them to actually count in and list my inventory so it's active. Now we're leading into my fourth mistake, and that was my PPC. I'll admit my areas of weakness, and if I could say there's one area that I am weak on when it comes to Amazon, it is with PPC. I did my keyword research, I thought I was doing everything right, and then where I really went wrong is I assumed if I make my bid really high, it has to generate and convert to sales, doesn't it? So I'm not exaggerating when I say I set my bid so high. I was spending about $100 a day in PPC, and it was converting to 0 sales. So I let this go on for about a week or two without realizing, okay, clearly this is not working. Something is wrong here. And then I went on to Fiverr and found somebody who was able to do an audit and figure out what was working and what wasn't. They also looked at all of the other elements on my listing and gave me some advice where they thought there were weak areas that I could improve on. So that's always nice, having another eye come in and take a look at everything. I finally started to see a few sales, and those 20 units that I sent in were about to be out of stock. So I got 20 more ready and sent those to the warehouse. I'm still doing arbitrage at the same time. So the following week, I had a box full and ready to go of arbitrage products. So I thought, while I'm sending this stuff in, I might as well send another 20 units of my private labeled product because I really didn't want it to go out of stock. I was also merchant fulfilling orders at the same time because my stock did run out in the warehouse. So in order for customers to still be able to place an order from my gift basket, I was doing them merchant fulfilled at the same time. So now 40 units are off and on their way to my FBA warehouse, and weeks go by, Nothing is becoming active in my inventory. So I started to think, well, this is kind of funny. I was getting a few orders here and there, merchant fulfilling, but it was nothing to brag about. And really, I was only breaking even. When I considered the cost of manufacturing it, shipping it, my branded packaging, my PPC, my Amazon fees, I literally was making probably nothing on these products, especially merchant fulfilling them, because then I was paying even more in shipping to ship them to the customer. But I didn't really mind. My first shipment, all I wanted to do was to just sell the product, get reviews, get ratings. Then as that goes well, that's when you start to make profit. You can raise your price a little bit and all of that. So I was completely okay with just breaking even or even losing a little bit because that's how it goes when you first start private labeling a product on Amazon. Now comes the really sad part of the story. I did receive a message from Amazon informing me about my 40 units that I sent in and how they required a safety data sheet to proceed any further. These products went under the hazmat investigation and they came back unclassified. So now it's my turn to give them a safety data sheet of all of the ingredients listed and prove to them, A, it's not hazmat, or B, yes it is, and here's what's hazmat about it. So now I have to go in and get into the hazmat training, which would have been fine. But the safety data sheet comes from your manufacturer, and my manufacturer didn't have one. I never even gave it a single thought that this product could be considered hazmat. It was a gift basket, and everything in it was natural handmade ingredients. So I figured there's nothing hazardous about that. But essential oils are actually classified as hazmat, and all of these products were made with essential oils. To be honest, I was really upset when I first saw that and how they're just basically holding all of those units hostage until I can prove to them if they're hazmat or not. But at the same time, I'm just completely done with it. I really am. This has been a stress for me since the summertime, and we're in December now. So those 40 units, they're gone. I'm just not even going to think about it. I still have some inventory right over here, and I am still going to sell those out, merchant fulfilling them, just to get rid of them. My hopes were to buy another shipment from the manufacturer and to keep this listing going, but Clearly, that's just not going to happen for this product. So 3 things that I really learned going through my first private label product. And I say my first because even though it wasn't a great experience, that kind of happens. You do have products that are a bust. And if I do come up with another good idea that I think will be successful and not too competitive, I would love to do another whole run with private labeling. But the first thing that I learned obviously was do not go through LegalZoom, because that was just the worst mistake hiring them to register my trademark. I also learned that it doesn't matter how bad you want to bring a product to the market. If you choose a niche that's too competitive, you're probably not going to be very successful. So don't bring products to the market that you want to bring. Don't buy with your heart, buy with your head. Choose those different niches that don't have a ton of competitors. And I also learned that basically anything that goes onto your skin, Amazon is going to require a safety data sheet for. So in the future, I'm just going to avoid all skincare in general when it comes to private labeling, because it really is just an extra hassle and an extra worry that something's going to happen with your listing. So overall, my first private labeled product has definitely been an adventure, a pretty long adventure. Now we're going into over 5 months that this has been going on from the very start of getting my LLC and trademark. And I'm really happy to just close the book on this product, take my loss, take what I learned from it, and run with it moving forward. And I'm not embarrassed to say to you guys how much of a flop it was and how much money I lost on it, because that's part of learning and part of selling on Amazon. And if this can help any of you to not make any of these same mistakes and lose money, then I am happy to share my faults. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys, and who knows, maybe in a couple months we will go on another private label journey together. I am literally, everywhere I watch, I am just trying to consume things and think of products that, where is there a need? Where can it solve people's problems? Just last night, for example, I was watching a video and this girl was talking about one of those gadgets that you use in your car to break the window and to slash the seatbelt. And automatically my brain said, oh, that could be a private label product. But I checked and the niche is pretty big and it's hard to diversify that to really make it my own. But that's what I'm doing. I'm still always listening and try to take in different products I'm seeing. So hopefully we will go on another private label journey together, and hopefully this time it will actually be successful. Thanks for being here with me, guys. And as always, I will see you on the next video.